Hi everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination reading for the sign of Aquarius. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. Now, this is going to be a reading that is looking at what your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time. Now we will, once we pull a card to take a look at that area of focus, we'll dive a little deeper by pulling additional clarifiers. And we'll take a look at a block or a challenge that's coming in around that area of focus. We'll look at advice from Spirit as to how to overcome it. And then we will look at a level of abundance or spiritual growth that wants to come in that area of focus. Now, Aquarius, right off the bat, this is your energy here coming through. We have the Queen of Swords and we have the King of Pentacles. So this is what you're sitting with right now. Now, for some of you, this could actually reflect that you are reflecting on your own relationship to the physical plane of our experience. Now, the King of Pentacles does represent the energy of Taurus, so there could also be an element. Some of you might actually have a strong Taurus placement in your birth chart. You may be dealing with the Taurus, but because this is your internal energy, intuitively, I'm feeling more that you are reviewing your relationship with the physical. The King of Pentacles is someone who has mastered his command of the physical. This is someone who would make a great business owner or a financial advisor. This is someone who knows their worth, what they value, and they're able to wield that in their physical experience to be able to achieve in the physical what they would like. Now, the Queen of Swords is someone who understands their story. They know what they've gone through. They know the lessons they've learned, the things they've overcome and survived. And so there can be this sense when the Queen of Swords comes up like this, that we are reviewing our own story, that the things we tell ourselves about ourselves. And at any given point, there can be changes that we make to our story, right? We can change our perspective. We can look back and say, at one point, I used to tell people that I was always unlucky in love, or I used to focus on highlighting the difficult things I went through. But now when I look back, I realize that those were some of the best things that ever happened to me. And so when I tell my story from this perspective of who I am now, I might change a little bit what I choose to share or how I choose to share it. Now, it's a few too many cards there. I did see, though, strength and the star come through, so we'll see if that comes out a little at some point in your reading. Okay. All right. Ooh, there's a lot of focus, Aquarius, on home and family right now. So what your soul is illuminating for you is right over here. Now we have the Magician, the Queen of Cups, and we have a card that is unique to this deck. It shows here an individual, looks like a grandparent with her grandchildren and possibly her daughter or her child in the background. Now, this card to me represents the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups together. Now, the 10 of Pentacles in the tarot really represents kind of attaining the ultimate of what we want to create in the physical for ourselves. It can focus on home, possessions, legacy, inheritances, things along that line. And the 10 of Cups is getting to touch kind of that happy family place, but on the emotional plane, or getting to really emotionally feel into achieving our heart's fulfillment. I like to call it a little bit of touching your piece of heaven on earth. But this card really, for me, focuses on those two things put together. And so focus more on the home and family, and really kind of looking forward as to what you want to achieve, and kind of looking at what you would like to have as far as feeling safe and secure in whatever home environment that is. It can also be looking to the future, looking at the generations you might want to have, again, what you want to pass down to the next generation. But it can also just be kind of looking ahead at that sense of home and family and what you want to create for yourself, and what does that look like for you both now and in the future towards what you're working towards. And why do I say working towards that? Because we have the Eight of Pentacles here as your main underlying energy. And that really does speak to putting your head down and doing the work to achieve something for yourself. The King of Pentacles, we get to become the King of Pentacles by first sitting with the Eight of Pentacles, which is doing something over and over and over again, perfecting a skill set. This could be saving money. This could be building a house, and you're doing it piece by piece by piece, or building a business, something along those lines. But with what your soul's illuminating over here, so there's that home and family card, kind of a legacy, a safety, security, what you want to feel safe and secure in, what you're building for yourself. And then we have the Magician and the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups can represent the unconditionally loving mother. It's a card that harnesses the energy of Cancer. And there's a sense coming through here of both self-care and mothering the self, but also for some of you, there could be the sense of wanting to become a mother as well. That could be a part of this focus on home and family, or there could be someone in your life who is a mother. And in the middle of this, we have the Magician. It's almost like your soul is highlighting to you at this time, Aquarius, that you will find your own magic by focusing on the maternal aspect of your experience. Even if you are, even if you identify as male, there's a sense here of focusing more on what we would kind of attribute to the feminine aspect of our experience, or the divine feminine, which is the loving mother archetype and the focus on the home and family. And there's a sense here of really finding your magic in this energy. So there's something here that either A, you want to incorporate more of, or there's a change in focus here. And the change in focus is perhaps maybe what you want to build or achieve to be able to bring this what you need to feel safe and secure, and again, to bring your vision of home and family into being. Now, underneath the Eight of Pentacles, we do have the Empress, beautiful, and the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so the Empress is that divine creative energy. This is the archetype of the pregnant mother. This is when we hold space for what we want to give birth to into the world. And it can represent giving birth. It can also represent creativity and just literally creating something from nothing almost and birthing that into the world. Now, with the Four of Pentacles, for some of you, there's either been a point where you have kind of held back in the physical experience, held back from either a creative pursuit of your own, of wanting to really step into this Empress energy, or this Empress energy could represent something outside of yourself. This could be a person in your life that is waiting to give birth, or a person in your life who is maybe focused on home and family. But there is a sense with the Four of Pentacles of kind of just holding to what you have, and there's no taking a risk. There's no building on the Four of Pentacles. This is an individual who can kind of be seen as a miser, where they're holding themselves back in the physical plane of their experience, whether monetarily, whether holding back their energy. This can be someone who, doesn't want to give their all at work, something along those lines. But it does have to do with holding back around your true creative potential, whether this is your ability to create literally a life, a child, with either yourself or with someone else, or whether this is the creativity of being able to step into your full power of creating for yourself what you would like to give birth to into this world, whether it's a creative project or something artistic, or even just a future home and family life that you would love to have for yourself. There's almost like this, there's been a decision here, Aquarius, I feel, kind of like an abrupt turn of, it's time, okay, I get it. It's time for me to put my head down and start working towards this. It's like, okay, it's time for me to put my head down and start saving. Or it's time for me to put my head down and start working on what I need to do to be able to bring this over here into being. And that, I can see how that would put you into a place of reflecting on your relationship with the physical, of maybe what you've mastered, the skill sets that you do have, the King of Pentacles, but also how maybe now it's time to really get to that place of maybe kicking up this would be like saying, I really do want to have a larger home, and I do want to have multiple generations. I want to have something to give to, I want to have a legacy to give to my children someday. And you're like, okay, well, I have just a few dollars in the bank. It's time for me to put my head down and really start saving. Because I see a broader vision for myself, and I really want to get to this King of Pentacles status. I want to be someone who is financially stable. I want to be someone who can command a specific amount of money for the work that I do. This can even be where all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm going to go back to school and get that extra degree so that I can have that skill set and I can, again, command a certain level of pay. This could be, you know what, I am going to start that business. And instead of kind of like half-heartedly doing it, I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to do it 100%. Like there's something along that. But there is, what your soul is really focusing on is your own creative potential, your creative potential within somebody, that somebody around you might have that. But that your magic truly right now is to be found in and among home and family. And whether that is nurturing yourself, which is the Queen of Cups, can be, again, self-care. But that can also be where you are stepping into that role yourself, possibly, again, and mothering others or giving that kind of unconditional love to another in your life experience. Okay. I mean, some of you could even be stepping into the role of grandparent. I'm seeing these two cards here. And there's definitely that sense of, it's almost like the same individual, right? They look like they're in the same pose. With the Queen of Cups and the elderly woman sitting here. There's that sense of maybe like a young woman and an elderly woman. So this could be, an age difference. This could be, you with maybe a parent in the home, or you becoming the grandparent and you're looking at, what you can do with getting closer to your grandkids. It could be depending on wherever we are in our life. We'll be at different phases. But this can also just be where you're looking forward to the future and you're kind of seeing that future vision of yourself. So let's see here. So it's kind of interesting because there's this interesting interplay going on right now, Aquarius, in your reading, of really focusing on the physical, but also in focusing on the physical, you're giving yourself an emotional tie to something. There's this like emotional investment that I think before in your work or before in what you were doing, it maybe wasn't there. Maybe that's why you were kind of holding back a little bit. And now it's like through this creativity or this creative process or somebody or something giving birth, that there is a sense of, okay, I see where I want to put my time and energy. And it's directly related to something that, even if it's a future vision for myself, will feel safe and secure, and it'll feel self-nurturing. And it's like, okay, now I'm going to go back and hit the grindstone kind of thing. Now we have the Nine of Swords and we have the Emperor. This is your main point of challenge around really diving into this kind of home and family and self-care and the magic you're going to discover about yourself there. Well, that's interesting. So we have the Three of Pentacles. That came out reverse, and that kind of came out strangely, like flipped out when I was moving my hand. I don't usually take reversals, but because it specifically came out that way, I'm going to keep it that way. So that's at the heart of your reading. We'll get a little bit into that. But with the Nine of Swords and the Emperor, the Nine of Swords this is anxiety, it's worry, it's overthinking. It's where we are sitting in that place of like, what if? And the Emperor is the energy of someone who really is in that place of autonomy in their life. They are truly the emperor to their empire. And in a way, we are each that, right? No one can live our life for us. We can live our life with someone else. But ultimately, we have to step into that role within our life of really, what do we, kind of commanding that energy, right? Stepping into that role. And there's a sense here of stepping into, although we have a lot of feminine energy here, there's a sense here for some of you of either there's a difficulty in almost like relinquishing the kind of more masculine, because you have the Empress and we have the Emperor. Now, you could be being asked right now to really embrace the masculine component of the Emperor and the Emperor energy, which is initiation, which is stepping into your own power and autonomy in your life to make choices that clearly are kind of coming through here for you. But it could also be where, for some of you, there might be a sense of maybe not wanting to relinquish a little bit of control either, to put yourself into more of a vulnerable state, which the Empress can be vulnerable, right? When we think of a pregnant woman, although she is incredibly strong in, literally going through the process of growing a human being inside of her and then giving birth, there's also the sense of vulnerability. And that can be with any kind of creative project. There's that sense of at any given point, we have to release it to the world. And that could mean that it might, it could be put out there to be told it's not great. It could, people have the chance to kind of pick it apart, or it can be the vulnerability of creating a business. And while it's just starting, there's that vulnerability of it could fail. So there's also that sense of like kind of putting yourself in a vulnerable place to create, but at the same time, and that might make you feel like you're a little, again, you're relinquishing some element of control, but there's also this feeling of like having to balance these two energies of putting yourself in that vulnerable place or allowing someone in your life to be in that vulnerable place, and you stepping into your full authority to allow for whatever wants to be given birth to be supported, to come to being, to come to fruition. Now with the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, the Three of Pentacles upright is a card of building with others. It's a card of collaboration. It's a card of understanding that we build something stronger together. Ooh, the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. Man, these cards are these are the most popular cards this time around. I feel like they're coming out for everybody. So the Three of Pentacles, when it's upright, is great. Again, it's a collaboration. It's having an eye to the future and working with others who have a similar shared vision and making that happen. Now, either A, Aquarius, you have not been playing well with others, meaning that maybe there are people who do want to come in and collaborate with you, and maybe you have been pushing them away. But I do feel there's a little bit of a sense of, I'm getting intuitively of like, this is the barrier. And this is why this is the advice from Spirit, which is saying anything worth building can be built better and faster with others who, again, bring their own pentacle to the table. That we all have certain skill sets, but we don't excel in every skill set. The individual here who is Eight of Pentacles, he's working on perfecting his pentacle, the one pentacle he brings to the table in this collaboration. And there's a sense of, for some of you, that you're kind of putting yourself in a place where either A, you're not wanting to work with others, B, you're pushing others away, or C, there's a sense maybe of not even sharing your vision with others. This could be where you're kind of holding it really close to the chest. And I think for many of you, there's a sense now that this is a time of collaboration, that this, yes, you do need to stand in your authority and work towards what you want to bring into your experience, but we also kind of have to have that humility or that humbleness of realizing, yes, we all need help. This could be like actually saying, you know what, I am going to go and ask for someone to help me with my marketing for my new business, or I am going to, start talking to let's say a career coach, because I do want to make more money and I do want to level up, but I don't know where to start. There's a sense of that, or there's a sense of even getting on the same page with someone in your life. That could be the Empress. Again, you could be the Empress or the Emperor, and there could be this other individual in your experience. And it's about getting into an alignment with a vision, a shared vision for the future. Because we also have the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. This is what's waiting to come in for you. This is the leap into the new. Now, when these two cards come up together, I always get like this mental image of this Fool, the individual leaping off the cliff, but leaping off into like almost like a spinning vortex, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and kind of being sucked into a new reality. Like there's almost like that kind of instant manifestation quality when these two cards come out like this. And I think for many of you, that can be another fear point, right? That this could be a wonderful, beneficial thing. There could be when I look at what your soul is highlighting for you, home, family, finding your magic around self-nurturing and a safe, secure home environment and the legacy of generations to come, there's a sense of, this is wonderful. This is a really, really beautiful energy. who wouldn't want to be sucked towards that future, right? But it does mean that there's going to be a big change. And it does mean that you're probably going to have to work with others. Anytime we have big changes, it generally means that we have to then rely on others to be there for us. And if we're building something new, or we're trying to perfect something, or investing in something, we are going to have to fall back on those who might be able to give us guidance, or those who can come in and, again, bring a little something extra to the table. So the secondary underlying energy is the Two of Swords. And this says that for many of you, you're sitting in this place of indecision, of should I, shouldn't I, which way is better, do I do it now or do I do it later? And there's a sense with the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune here, the time is now. It's time to take that leap. It's time to, for some of you too, with the Three of Pentacles coming in here, reversed, this could also be for some of you where it's time to walk away from a collaboration or from something that you are working on with others. This could be that decision of, I decided to take on that, big work project, and I'm realizing at this point that that's only going to be 6 months of me being stuck in the office away from my home and family. And at this point, I would rather start to work towards maybe focusing on home and family a little more. And it's time for me now to maybe back out of that. It could also be where for some of you, this is almost like the energy of going it alone. So it could be that energy of maybe you did have business partners and you're realizing, you know what, I do want to do something different. Maybe you had started a business and you're realizing I need to brand. It could be almost like for someone who, let's say you're in a band and you're like, I'm going to be the one that goes out and has my solo career. There could be a little bit of that coming through, kind of standing in your own authority and power. And that could feel scary as well if you are leaving a collaboration. But for others, I do get this feeling this is almost kind of like a wall here of, no, it's either not getting on the same page with somebody, or it's not sharing of that vision and allowing others to come to you and start to help make that happen. Okay, and that place of indecision here, that's going to get real clear when you really start to look, when you start to feel into what this energy is for you over here. What is that future vision for yourself? What does safety and security look like in your home life? What is that legacy? If you're looking at yourself 10, 15, 50 years from now, depending on where you are in your life experience, what do you want to manifest? The Magician is a manifester. He's someone who understands his own magic. He can manipulate all of the aspects of his experience, and he kind of, again, gets down to making the future in the now, in the present moment. Okay, I'm going to pull some clarifiers here. And we're going to get a little deeper into some of these cards on the table. So let's see here. We've got the Nine of Swords. What does Aquarius need to know about the Nine of Swords? We have the Moon. Yeah, I can see anxiety is coming through because the way is unclear. You don't know if this is going to work out. You don't know if, yes. Okay. And then here comes the Queen of Cups again. For some of you, there is a sense around, I think, a worry about maybe not becoming a parent or not being able to, be close to someone who represents this. There could be a sense too, for those of you who are more in the masculine energy, that there's a sense of maybe a worry about, again, protecting. This would be like if someone in your life is getting pregnant and you're like, oh my gosh, can we afford this? Can we buy a big enough house? Can I, that kind of thing. There's also that sense too, for some of you, I think, of if this is purely just self-care and self-nurturing, that there's that sense of, is my decision going to be within my best interest? Is it going to nurture my needs, my dreams? There could be a sense too of you choosing that. So you're making a decision to kind of do an abrupt change here and really focus on building something in your life. And it is directly tied to self-care. There's a reasoning here, again, an emotional connection to what you're doing, but there's also that sense of, but the way is unknown or unclear, and even though I feel like it's in my best interest, is it really going to be ultimately? So let's see here with the Emperor. I would say really lean in, Aquarius, to your intuition, that's what the Two of Swords asks you to do. Because the Two of Swords, the traditional image is an individual sitting there blindfolded, holding two swords of equal weight and value. And there's that sense of not being able to look at the swords and be able to decide which one is truly your sword, your truth, your decision. It's that she has to sit there blindfolded and use her intuition to feel which way to go, which one is hers. And yes, with the Emperor, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess comes in and says, you know, Aquarius, you know that it's time. You know where it's time to stand in your authority and your power. And that can be scary, because if you haven't been in that place for some time, to be asked to suddenly kind of push yourself into that space can be difficult, especially if it's something along the lines of if you had been, let's say, in a group dynamic or a collaboration, and suddenly you're like, I'm going to go it alone. And it's like, what? you know? So then we have Five of Swords and Seven of Wands. Now, these are two highly defensive energies when they come out together like this. The Five of Swords is someone who wants to win at all costs. It's someone who wants to get the last word, doesn't want to hear advice, doesn't want to hear anybody's opinion. And the Seven of Wands is that defensive posturing. It's defending your choice to take action. Now, for some of you, this could be the actual energy you need to be in right now, because you are being asked to stand in your authority, and you know this on some level, that it's time for you to step up. But I get the feeling more that this is you giving yourself excuses. And I know normally like the Seven of Swords coming out would have been more that kind of, avoidance of this. But I'm getting the feeling more that for many of you, there's a sense of like not wanting to talk something out, not wanting to hear others' opinions, kind of having to be in this place of, I just have to trust myself. This is the way it's got to be. And there is a sense that, yes, when we get into this kind of energy of having to maybe assert our authority or stand in our power, this can actually be a very, very empowering energy, especially if it's in alignment with doing something that ultimately feels like it's self-care for you. But there can also be a sense, too, of possibly pushing others away, that as you step into this power, as you start to work towards something you really want, that there are others who may be coming in to try to help you, and you are effectively not letting those people come in. That there could be the sense of, I don't want to talk about it, don't tell me, I don't need the help, I don't, that kind of thing. And it's kind of like saying, open yourself up a little bit. Stand in your power of what you know. The High Priestess also speaks to making a quiet decision, a silent decision based on an internal knowing. So for many of you, you've made that decision. But I think, a card fell out on the floor. Ironically enough, for the Three of Pentacles, the Six of Wands came out also reversed. Interesting. So I'm going to leave it. So this is the Six of Wands. Yeah, for some of you, I think for some of you, you're leaving something now behind that has not led to the level of success or recognition that you've wanted. So this could be like you started a collaboration for a business and you realize now at this point, it just never got off the ground. You never, or it's to the point where maybe this was at work and somebody's just not giving you the recognition you're owed. Someone isn't paying you enough. Or you're not being seen the way that you want to be seen, and it's time to walk away. Now, this could also be Three of Pentacles, could be like you built a life together with someone, or you were working on building a home life, and you're realizing this is not what I wanted. This is, after all the money we've put into this home, it's still falling down around our ears. Or, we moved into this 2-bedroom condo years ago, and we've outgrown it. It's not it doesn't feel like success. So there's a sense here of there's something here that doesn't feel like success for you anymore in what you had been working towards or building. Your other card came out on the floor upright, King of Wands. That's Leo energy. And for some of you, there could be a sense of this could have been around a business. The King of Wands to me a lot of times comes in. This is like the fiery business owner. This is the business owner that wants to be seen. This could be like the Oprah Winfreys and the Elon Musks. That's the kind of energy that comes through here. And I think for many of you, there's a sense of maybe having to step into your own power here. But I also think for others, there's been a sense of like that either you've tried to start a business that, again, just didn't lead to anything, or you tried to build a home life that just didn't lead to anything. And there's a sense now of saying, what lights your fire? What are you passionate about? How can you start to bring that forward into something new? And how can you really stand in that energy? And do so from a place that isn't going to, I think, push others away, but instead is going to say, it's almost like being able to have that conversation with someone to say, this is what I love. This is what I'm passionate about. And yeah, I am going to be uncompromising in how I follow this because it is what I love. There's really that decision coming through here. All right, so let's see what's going on with the Fool. What does Aquarius need to know about the Fool? Okay, so we have the Page of Wands and we have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, so Page of Wands is a child at play. This often to me represents a child, an energetic child in your life, but this could also be an aspect of yourself. An innocent part of yourself that just wants to kind of go out into the world. I get this feeling for some of you that there's a sense of kind of maybe letting go a little bit of the seriousness or letting go of needing to succeed in a level of maybe business acumen or a level of, it's hard for me to explain it, but it's almost like you're going from the King of Wands to the Page of Wands, where the king, again, is at the top and he knows what he knows. But the Page of Wands is curious. They're like ready to go out with this renewed, innocent vision of life again. And the Ten of Swords speaks to many of you who have gone through a very difficult time, or something has happened in your life, whether past or present, that did bring you to your knees, or that was very difficult for you to get through. And I get the feeling it's almost like it's time to release this version of yourself and leap into a time where you get to play. You leap away from the Ten of Swords. And that's also kind of with the Queen of Swords over here. There's a sense that maybe you had focused a lot on the Ten of Swords, of sharing that part of your story. And there's a sense now where you get to kind of write a new chapter of your story, Aquarius. And that is one where you leap off the cliff away from the pain and the heartbreak or the time that really brought you to your knees, and you get to be the triumphant child at play. Or for some of you, this could be where there is pain around maybe trying to become a parent, and now you get to leap into maybe pursuing that again. So, take it as it is, but there's definitely a sense of, with the Fool, leaping away from pain and into almost like a being born again. Very interesting energy. Yeah, we have with the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Four of Wands. Building a new firm foundation out of passion. This could be a marriage. For some of you, this could be like literally leaping into marrying someone. This could be and having children with them. And there's this whole sense of like, should I commit fully or should I not? And there's definitely there. But there is a sense here of something in your life around home and family, or what you would like to give birth to, or creativity, something really changing your perspective and kind of pushing you into assuming kind of the authoritative emperor status in your life and choosing to maybe go in a new direction. I don't have a lot of the Two of Wands, and I think that's because there's the High Priestess. She knows which way to go. She knows the decision she's made, but it's almost like, will you do it? So let's see here with anything else for the Wheel of Fortune. But this is definitely saying that you get to leap into a new foundation and one that can be celebrated. This could even be just a celebration. This could be you celebrating your own marriage, the marriage of a child, or even grandchildren. Yeah, and there's the Sun. Illumination. This is the illumination of the self, of the pure essence of who you are without, kind of all of the layering of the harshness of life that we put on as we go through one wound after another. It's also illuminating the joy of home and family, of building that firm foundation. And for some of you, this literally could be the joy of children coming into your life. That is the Sun energy again, also Leo energy, and Leo as a sign does rule children in the Zodiac. So there is that sense here of, that's why the Sun card is often shows an innocent and naked child at play, because it does tie directly to children in your life. So there could be the sense of kind of leaping towards children, leaping towards home and family, and creating stability for that. And in doing so, again, you're finding your own magic. You're finding a sense of play. Now, it could also be for some of you, if this is not directly related to having children, this could be, again, really focusing on building a foundation that is going to illuminate the playful child within, self-care and nurturing of what the future vision for yourself is. And that doesn't always have to involve children. That could literally just be involving a home and family life that feels authentic to you, where you can just be your true authentic self, and where you get to jump into that sense of curiosity and play again. Again, this could be, let's say, just using it as an example, as what I was saying before. Let's say this is where you were in a band for many years, and at a certain point, it just got old. You're playing the same songs, you're playing in the same places, and suddenly you're like, you get this spark of creativity, and you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to go it alone. I want to do something else. And suddenly you have this chance to kind of step into your authority and maybe work on a new skill set. And it has everything to do with, maybe you're like, I don't want to travel on tour anymore. I want to play at one place in my local, bar, or I want to make music from home, or I want to maybe become a music teacher, something along those lines. And suddenly it's like you've flipped your life upside down, and you found the joy in life again that maybe for a long time had been a little stagnant, or the creativity that wasn't flowing, and then here it is. And all of a sudden, here's this new foundation. You could be building a foundation, let's say, for a business that's going to truly allow the freest version of yourself to come forward. Now with the Four of Cups, this is your third underlying energy, and that really does speak to a sense of dissatisfaction. It can be that feeling of kind of you're the outsider looking in, everybody else is celebrating, everybody else has support, and you're the one on the outside. And what it really represents is realizing it's because you're not bringing your cup to the party. The Queen of Cups, she nurtures her cup, she holds it sacred. And there's a sense of being asked, are you going to join the party? Are you going to bring your cup in? Are you going to nurture it to the point where you're ready to invest in it? And are you ready to make the changes necessary that wherever you feel dissatisfied or kind of blah with your life, how are you going to honor the Empress in your life by stepping into the Emperor energy? Okay, I'm gonna pull two final cards here today, because I actually have a new deck that I'm working with, and so it's fun to kind of pull the cards here live and get to be introduced to them along with you at the same time. Okay. Oh, I love it. Of course this would come up for you. Paradigm shift. Yes, there's definitely a paradigm shift coming in here for you, Aquarius, which would make sense because, hey, Pluto is moving into your sign, and we are all going to be, as a collective, experiencing a paradigm shift coming into next year and into 2025 and 2026. So your guys are going to be a little ahead of the curve. Let's see here, though. I like how it's number 4 again. That beautiful number of building firm foundations through hard work. And there's also that sense always for me with the number 4 of like that angelic quality coming through as well. So it says, you are undergoing radical growth in your belief systems. Now is the time to challenge old attitudes and question previous expectations. You are in an extraordinary time. Great leaps forward can be made in a moment. Yeah, that's the Fool with the Wheel of Fortune. It says, the world you thought you knew can suddenly break open and a new world can become your reality. Buddhists sometimes speak of the beginner's mind, that which assumes nothing and therefore is open to everything. A spiritual psychologist might call this the inner child, as it is innocent, curious, unfixed, and always learning. It doesn't get stuck on an answer having to be one way. There is openness to the unknown with curiosity instead. And that's where I feel for many of you, you're being asked to get over or away from this 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, which is just uber defensive, and you're being asked to open up to that curiosity, to that play, to what is waiting for you out there. It says, old souls can sometimes find it hard to recapture their not knowingness. Asking someone with a lot of life experience who may have become a bit world weary to drop expectations and look at the world through fresh eyes can be challenging. Yet life becomes much more energizing and interesting when you are open and don't hold expectations about what will be. Suddenly you are receptive to the universe helping you in ways that in the past you did not believe possible, all because you kept an open mind. If you are feeling that you don't really know yourself, your relationships, or your place in the world as you once did, if you are feeling that what you once held to be certain now seems to be a little shaky, these are signs that you are going through a paradigm shift. This will bring you new perceptions that will free you to be in the world in new ways. You will find yourself shedding old limits, fears, and misconceptions. You are stepping beyond what you have known. You are a bit like a traveler in a new city feeling awkward until she gets the lay of the land and how things operate in that new place. As you trust the unexpected and unknown, the universe will be able to help you in unexpected and previously unknown ways. And that's really where this anxiety comes through for many of you with the moon and the Queen of Cups. There's that sense of you're being asked to trust. It says, if you find yourself questioning the views in mass media or spoken in the conversations that those around you are having, take heart and know that you are awakening from a fear-based world into a love-filled reality. Your confusion will soon transform into joy at discovering that you are free and have no reason to be afraid. You are encouraged by the universe to embrace the power you have to be a free thinker. Accept the accelerated mental shift happening for you, even if it creates temporary uncertainty or discomfort. Dare to think thoughts of love rather than lower your vibration by choosing thoughts of fear. Trust for something helpful and empowering is happening in your soul. I love that. Okay, and I'm going to pull one final card here, Aquarius, from this. This is the Wild Elemental Oracle. Found it in a random store in the back of a shopping center while I was having my windshield replaced the other day, and I was like, hey, called my name when I went in there. It's a happy find. So let's see here. Ooh, let's see this one. So we have starfish and we have tiger. Ooh. Let's see what these represent here. So starfish, we have number 17. And we have tiger, number 24. Okay, so let's look at starfish. So it is attributed to the water element, and it says, starfish attributes: regeneration, moon magic, beauty, connection to the star people, and tidal movement. It says finding starfish on your path is a message and lesson to let go of things that no longer serve you. When you can easily and gracefully let go of what you no longer need, you open the door for what will serve you to come in. Work with the moon cycle, the new moon to let go and the full moon to invite. This is a powerful way to attune you to the rhythms of life. The ebb and flow of letting go and bringing in is right, timely, and powerful. I like that. It's kind of like just giving in. There's a sense of just understanding kind of that sense of timing coming through here with the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. So we have Tiger, number 24. Oops. And this is the fire element. And it says Tiger attributes: power, energy, strength, and willpower, acting in a timely manner. When Tiger prowls into your reading, this is a reminder that persistence is what is necessary in order to attain your goals. Be patient. Do not overthink things. This will lead to paralysis. Tap into your determination and will to get there. You will succeed, but only through patience. Alternatively, this big cat may be telling you that careful planning is needed. Even if what you need to do is not at the top of your list of favorite things, keep plugging away and know that you can and will get this done. And that is exactly the Eight of Pentacles right here. That is just the head down, focused on what you want to bring in, kind of letting the rest of the world go on as they will, and really realizing that by focusing on bringing in what nurtures you or what protects the Empress energy in your life and standing in your authority and taking that leap into the new, that your whole life will shift, and probably more quickly than even you are expecting. So give in to trust, give in to faith, and give in to what feels like it is truly mothering yourself, or mothering yourself through also maybe mothering others and being supportive of another in your life. All right, I'll leave it there, Aquarius. Beautiful energy. There is a lot of change to come, but change that is highly supportive of who you are. Now, if you would like to book your own personal reading to illuminate an area of a lack of clarity or darkness in your life, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in your next illumination reading. Bye, Aquarius.